Hey guys, I'm Fair, and in this video, I will be explaining about HollowKnight. Firstly, when you join a game, you will be given a new button on the bottom left. This is where you select your HollowKnight build. You have a choice of mage build or attack build, but as of now, mage build is not that useful. The only 3 charms worth noting as of now are Sigil of Focus, Void Given Claw, and Fury of the Forsaken. But do note that this may change depending on a strategy. First things first, he's a curse element, which means he deals 30% more damage to bosses at all times. He costs 4,000 to place, and 133,000 to maximum, making them quite expensive. This also means they need a secondary DPS to support them for early waves. He's a single placement, making Monarch his best trace. And his best familiar is a burb. But it can also be Black Spirit or Strange Cat, depending on the build or usage. Firstly, due to his high cost, units like Armin complements him really well. He reduces the total cost by 10% whilst also boosting the damage by 20%. Give him for familiar and you're good to go. Nextly, we got Sukuna. Sukuna boosts the damage of curse element by 30%, and he is a great early DPS which HollowKnight needs. HollowKnight has a high spar of 9 seconds on his last upgrade. If needed, you can use Sakura and Ryumu to reduce this. If you don't know how Sakura works, she equalizes the spar of 3 units. In this case, HollowKnight will now attack every 5 seconds instead of 9. This can be very useful on mage builds, since HollowKnight gains souls per attack. Speaking of souls, let's talk about his passives now. HollowKnight has a new type of resource called souls. He gains 3 souls per attack. Souls can be spent for his abilities. Firstly, he has a 400% damage nuke, a 50% damage increase for single attack, a small zone where enemies takes damage, and lastly you can attack anyone closest to base at any range. The ability to attack anyone closest to the base is super useful. It deals 1.6 million damage with Z+ stats, and it can be used for bosses that teleports or spawns behind, such as Griffith, Brisket and adversary bosses. The next abilities gives HollowKnight an Azen aura, where the enemies takes damage from certain range. The main use for this is if there are way too many enemies etc. I'm going to assume the hitbox is half the HollowKnight's current range. The range ends here. I suggest you use units like Weather Report for slow, if you want to use this. Nextly, the Dream Mail is just a simple damage boost. It has a new animation, and has a 60-second cooldown. Lastly, his 400% damage nuke. It deals about 6.5 million damage. Pretty solid but not that impressive. Nextly, he spawns and summons with 35% of his stats. With his relic, it is 65%. Although the cooldown is 2 seconds, because of his high spar, he spawns 1 every 8 seconds. And that is also why Sakura was mentioned earlier. She allows him to spawn 1 clone every 5 seconds. Now, let's move on to calculating DPS. I will be calculating his damage while having 7 units placed to make it realistic. With 7 units, he's dealing 1 million damage. Firstly, his first ability deals 1.3 million damage. And if we bring back the Vegeta clip, he was hit 9 times by the second ability. Our current HollowKnight deals 260,000 damage per tick. That is 2.3 million damage in 9 ticks. It would be 3.9 million if you land all 15 hits. Now, he spawns in a 650,000 health summons every 8 seconds. If he can kill at least one enemy per attack, he deals 80,000 DPS with summons. That's 204,000 DPS total. If you use Ryumu and Sakura, this DPS goes up. First, find his damage and divide by Sakura's SPA, which was 5.1 second for me, which is nearly 200,000 DPS. And if he manages to kill one enemy every attack, he will have this DPS with his summons. That is total 325,000 DPS. Do note that he deals 30% extra damage to bosses too. This makes him a really good DPS with lots of utility. Here are the pros. He has ability and summons for anti-leak. Curse element makes him a great pair for Sukuna and a boss killer. Has really good DPS and a full AoE. Really easy to use and obtain. Now for cons. Although he is really easy and niche to use, he is also very annoying to manage. He's mainly useful for game modes like the anniversary event, where you earn a lot of money and bosses teleports away. In conclusion, he's a really useful unit who is very useful. I'm assuming he will be like Eskina, where the unit is mainly used for being lazy. Because of his high cost, he will be replaced easily in harder game modes. But if the game mode provides lots of money, I can see him being used. He's a strong unit that's really fun to mess around too. He will also find lots of use in game modes with lots of boss spawns. Do I think you should roll on this unit? The answer is yes. But only if you already have one more useful monarch such as Sukuna. I would appreciate any suggestions for more sections to add, like pro and cons. But that will be all for today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.
No.